Hey everyone, I want to start by saying, I apologize for being away for a few weeks. But don't worry, because from now on, you're going to get amazing content for you and your loved ones. And today's topic is a really fascinating one. Let me ask you this. Have you ever looked at a map of Australia and noticed something strange? Almost all the big cities, Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, Perth, they're all down in the south. But when you look at the massive north, it's practically empty, with hardly any major cities at all. Why is that? Why do millions of Australians live in the south, while the north looks untouched? Well, the answer is a mix of climate, history, and survival. And it might just change the way you look at Australia forever. Let's dive in. First up, climate. Northern Australia is tropical, hot, humid, and hit with heavy monsoons. On paper, that sounds like paradise, but in reality, it means cyclones, floods, and harsh conditions for building and living. Now compare that with the south. Cities like Sydney and Melbourne enjoy a more temperate climate. Summers are hot but not extreme, winters are milder, and the seasons are predictable. This makes the south far more comfortable, not just for people but for farming, housing, and long-term growth. Right from the start, climate stacked the odds in favor of the south. But climate alone doesn't explain it. Let's talk about water. Australia is the driest inhabited continent on Earth. Up north, sure, it rains a lot during monsoon season, but most of that water rushes away in floods, leaving rivers dry for the rest of the year. The south, however, has steady rivers like the Murray and Darwin. These allowed farming, vineyards, and reliable food production, and wherever farming thrives, people gather. It's simple. Water builds cities. Lack of it drives people away. Now let's roll back to the 1700s. When the British first colonized Australia, they were looking for familiar conditions. The cooler southern climates felt closer to Europe, while the tropics in the north seemed dangerous and unwelcoming. So the first settlements, Sydney in 1788, then Melbourne, Hobart, Adelaide, and Perth, all popped up in the south. These ports connected directly with Europe and became trade hubs. Meanwhile, the north was mostly ignored. Settlers thought of it as too remote, too wild, and too difficult. That one decision, to anchor in the south, shaped everything that followed. Here's where momentum kicked in. Once cities in the south got going, they snowballed. More people moved in, more jobs were created, railways were built, governments set up headquarters, and industries expanded. The north? It never got the same chance. Instead, it became known for mining, cattle ranching, and small ports. Its largest city, Darwin, has fewer than 150,000 people. Compare that to Sydney's 5 million, and you see the difference instantly. The bigger the south grew, the harder it was for the north to catch up. So why hasn't modern technology balanced things out? Well, the north still faces big challenges. Cyclones that damage infrastructure, long distances from global trade routes, and small populations that can't support megacities. Building and maintaining large cities there is just expensive and risky. On top of that, much of northern Australia is indigenous land, home to deep cultural heritage. Many areas remain less developed on purpose, to preserve traditions and protect natural environments. So why are Australia's cities in the south and not the north? It comes down to a powerful mix of climate, water, history, and economics. The south had the right weather, reliable rivers, and the first colonial settlements. From there, it snowballed into the cities we know today. Meanwhile, the north, with its extreme heat, cyclones, and remoteness, just never had the same opportunities. So the next time you look at a map of Australia and see that vast, empty-looking north, remember, it's not empty by accident. It's a living reminder of how geography and history decide where humans settle and where they don't. Thanks for watching, and once again, I'm glad to be back bringing you exciting content. If you enjoyed this deep dive, stay tuned because there's a lot more coming your way.